On a clear Sunday in 2012, a 12-year-old boy named Christian Lopez climbed out of his family's rental car to look at the ocean, and less than 2 minutes later, he was gone. His family had spent that morning doing the single most recommended thing you can do on the island of Maui. They drove the road to Hana. They were following the guidebook exactly. They pulled off at a lookout above a place called Honolulu Bay to take in the view, the way 10,000 families do every single week. Christian ran ahead toward the water, the way children always run ahead. There was no railing. There is still no railing. He went over the edge and fell somewhere between 300 and 350 feet into the sea. There was no drunk driver. There was no blown tire. There was no storm. The sky was clear, the pavement was dry, and the spot where he died was not one of the 620 curves this road is famous for. It was not one of the 59 bridges. It was a pull-off with a beautiful view and a place to park your car. Hold that boy in your mind. We are going to come back to him. Because everything that makes the road to Hana feel safe, the smooth pavement, the tour buses, the banana bread stands, the quiet certainty that a million tourists cannot all be wrong, is the exact thing that gets people killed on it. And there is one stretch of this loop so dangerous that your rental car contract forbids you from driving it by name and cancels your insurance the moment your tires touch it. You will probably drive to Hana someday. Most people who come to Maui do, and when you do, you will feel completely safe the entire time. That feeling is the subject of this video. Let me tell you what this road actually is because the map lies to you about it. There are 2 ways to reach the town of Hana. Everyone knows the first one. The Piilani Highway hugs the wet, green northern coast of the island for around 64 miles. It has roughly 620 curves and 59 bridges, 46 of them only wide enough for a single car. It is paved the whole way. It is on every list of the most beautiful drives on Earth, and it deserves to be. More than 1,000 cars a day crawl along it at 15 or 20 miles an hour, because that is all the road allows. People are so busy looking at waterfalls that they forget what they are actually doing. They are threading a car along a shelf of cliff, sometimes more than 1,000 feet above the water, on a road that in many places has no guardrail at all. There is a reason the locals have a nickname for it. They call it the Divorce Highway, because of what a full day of blind curves and one-lane bridges and near misses does to the 2 people in the front seats. It is funny right up until it is not. Drivers get tired in a specific way out here, 128 miles of concentration in a single day, and tired is when a hand drifts on the wheel and a beautiful drive becomes a fall. And here is what almost no visitor understands. As nerve-wracking as all of that sounds, the famous road is the safe one, because the road does not end in Hana. That is the part the postcards leave out. Keep going south past the town and the pavement changes. The waterfalls stop. The jungle thins into dry grassland and black lava fields and open ranch country, and the road narrows into something that feels less like a highway and more like a ledge somebody scraped into the side of a volcano. This is the Piilani Highway. Locals call it the back road. Most tourists never even learn it exists, and the rental car companies would very much like to keep it that way. This road is old. Older than the tourists, older than the rental agreements, older than the state of Hawaii itself. In the 16th century, a Hawaiian king named Piilani built a paved footpath called the Alaloa, the long road that circled almost the entire island so his messengers and warriors could move across terrain that had no other way through. Parts of the modern back road still trace that ancient path. When you drive it, you are following the exact line a king drew across a volcano 500 years ago. The road you can drive today opened in 1937, more than a decade after the famous Front Road opened in 1926. And it was never really built for you. It was built for cattle and for the families who live out here. And notice what happens to the land as you go. The front road is a rainforest because it faces the wind and the rain. The back road is the opposite side of the same mountain, the leeward side, the side the clouds have already emptied themselves on before they ever reach it. So the green vanishes. You drive out of jungle and into something that looks like the American Southwest dropped into the middle of the Pacific. Dry gold grass, bare red earth. Old black lava flows running straight down into the sea. It is starkly, unbelievably beautiful, and it is also the driest, emptiest, most exposed country on the island. For most of its life, the only people on this road were ranchers and the families of Kaupo, a community so remote it is regularly described as one of the most isolated places in the United States. A handful of homes, a single tiny store that keeps its own hours, no hospital for hours in either direction. These are people who have organized their entire lives around the fact that help is far away. You are a tourist who assumed help was a phone call away. Those are not the same relationship with this road, and the road can tell the difference. Then, roughly 5 miles of the pavement past Kaupo simply stops being pavement. It becomes dirt and gravel and rutted rock, narrow, with no guardrail above the drops, exactly the section your rental contract cares about most. Eventually, the front road got crowded. Tour buses stacked up bumper to bumper, and a certain kind of traveler started looking at the map, seeing that the road appeared to loop all the way around the bottom of the island, and thinking the same reasonable thought you are probably thinking right now. Why drive back the way I came when I can just finish the circle? That reasonable thought is the trap. And to understand why, you have to understand what your rental contract actually says, because almost nobody reads it until it is far too late. Pull out the agreement from nearly any car rental company on Maui, and somewhere in the fine print you will find this road named specifically. Not vaguely, not avoid unpaved roads, by name. The section of Highway 31 past Kipahulu, the stretch that runs along the southeast coast toward Ulupalakua, is off limits. Drive it, and you have broken the contract. The insurance you paid for is void. Every dollar of damage is now yours. Sit with what that means for a second. There are millions of miles of road in America. Rental companies do not name individual stretches of highway and forbid you from driving them. They do it here. They looked at this specific road, weighed the risk, and decided they would rather lose your business than cover you on it. And it is not just the rental companies. The county of Maui itself has repeatedly asked those companies to talk tourists out of this road because the emergency calls coming off it were draining the county budget. Think about that. A local government begging rental agencies to please stop your customers from driving here. And you might assume that if a road is this dangerous, someone must be liable. Someone will pay. If the worst happens, surely there is a lawsuit, surely there is a settlement, surely the system catches you. But a road being dangerous is not the same as a road being someone's fault. Lawyers who handle these cases on Maui will tell you plainly that the danger of the road on its own guarantees you nothing. You signed the contract. The contract named the road. You drove it anyway. In the eyes of everyone whose job it would be to help you, you were warned in writing, and you chose. The safety net you assume is under you was quietly cut before you ever left the airport. Here is why. If you break down on the back road, you are on your own in a way that is hard to imagine until you are living it. There is no cell signal. Not weak signal. None. For long stretches, you cannot call anyone, which means you cannot call for help, and neither can anyone who might come looking for you. There are no gas stations, there is no store, there is no water. If your car dies out there, a tow back to civilization can cost up to $2,000, and that is if you can get a truck to come at all. Drivers have called their own roadside assistance the coverage they have paid into for years, only to be told the contractor will not drive out there. There is essentially one towing company on the entire island that will make the trip. So picture it. You are stopped. The car will not start. You reach for your phone out of pure reflex, the way all of us do now when something goes wrong, and the screen says no service, no signal, no shoulder, no one coming. That silence is the real danger of this road, not the cliffs. The cliffs are honest. You can see a cliff. The silence is what kills you because it turns a small problem, a flat tire, a dead battery, a wrong turn, into a genuine survival situation, hours from anyone as the light drains out of the sky. Now, let me put you behind the wheel because this is how it actually happens. It almost never begins with a bad decision. It begins with a reasonable one. You have driven the front road all day. You are tired in the specific way that a full day of hairpin turns makes you tired. You reach Hana, or the pools beyond it, and you look at the clock, and you realize the sun is going to set in maybe 90 minutes. Now you have a choice. You can turn around and drive 2, almost 3 hours, back the way you came, on that same cliff road, in the dark. Or you can push forward on the back road and be around the bottom of the island in 40 minutes. Every instinct you have says go forward. Forward is shorter. Forward is new. Backward feels like defeat. And other people have clearly done it because the road is right there and there is no gate and no guard. So you go. And for a while it is fine. It is better than fine. It is stunning. The jungle opens up and suddenly the whole southern coast is spread out in front of you. Dry gold hills on one side and the deep blue Pacific on the other. This is the part people fall in love with. This is the part they tell their friends about. Then the pavement ends. The road drops to one lane of gravel clinging to a cliff, with no line down the middle and no rail on the ocean side. And you meet another car coming the other way. Now one of you has to reverse, blind, on a single-lane shelf, hundreds of feet above the water, on gravel, in fading light. This is the moment. The drive stops being beautiful and starts being a test you did not study for. And here is the psychological trap that closes behind you. On a road this narrow, with drops on one side and rock on the other, there is often nowhere to turn around. So even when a voice in your head says this was a mistake, I want to go back, you physically cannot. The only way out is forward, deeper in. Every mile you drive out of nervousness is a mile you would have to somehow undo. And you never do. Because turning a car around on a one-lane cliff is scarier than just continuing. So you continue. That is how careful people end up committed to a road they no longer trust. Not by choosing it, by running out of ways to unchoose it. And remember where you are now. You are on the dry side. That sun that felt so nice at the overlook is now cooking a metal box with you inside it, and there is no shade. And there is no water in the car because you did not think you would need any on a scenic drive. And there is no stream out here to find because this is the side of the mountain the rain forgot. The lush green road tricked you into packing for a rainforest. You are broken down in a desert. And this is where the road starts closing your exits, one by one. You might think you are safe because you are a careful driver. Let me tell you about the ones who were careful. On the front road, near a spot called Maliko Gulch, two women in a single vehicle went off the road on a Saturday night in November of 2019. Their truck fell more than 180 feet. When recovery crews arrived, the only thing visible above the water was the wheels. 2 lives ended in the length of one curve on the paved, famous, easy part of this drive. If that stretch can do that, sit with what the back road can do. You might think you are safe because you rented something sporty and fun. In 2007, a man on his honeymoon was driving Maui's other forbidden road, the Piilani Highway on the north coast, a road so feared that locals call it the Death Highway and rental companies refuse to cover it too. He was in a rented convertible. His car dropped 140 feet into the ocean. The convertible did not save him. It was the reason there was nothing between him and the fall. You might think you are safe because someone is in the car with you, and 2 heads are better than 1. On that same Piilani Highway, a driver failed to hold a turn and went over an embankment into a ravine 200 feet deep. He was thrown from the vehicle and killed. His passenger sitting right beside him survived and had to climb back up to the road alone. The same car, the same second. 1 person dead, 1 person climbing a cliff in shock to go find help that could not hear them. And you might think you are safe because you got out of the car because the danger is driving and you are done driving. Cristian Lopez was not driving. Robert Carvalho was 18 years old and hiking near mile marker 6 of the front road with friends when he lost his footing and fell 120 feet down a waterfall. He was young and healthy and on his feet on solid ground 1 second earlier. Being careful did not save them. The right car did not save them. A second person did not save them. Getting out of the vehicle did not save them. Every escape route you are quietly counting on this loop has already closed for somebody. And we have not even talked about the water yet, because on this road the sky itself is a weapon, and it is patient. The water is not even made where you are. It falls miles above you, high on the mountain, out of clouds you may never see from the road. Then all of it comes down at once, funneling through the gulches this road has to cross. And here is the cruel part. It does not matter that you are on the dry side. The dry side floods with water that was made somewhere else. A gulch that is bone dry when you drive across it in the morning can be a brown, roaring river by afternoon, and you will not have seen a single drop of rain. In March of 2026, storms shut the back road down completely at a spot called New Landing, around mile marker 30, because the river was flooding across it. The front road was cut to a single lane by blockages. The town of Hana lost power and was sealed off entirely by landslides. An entire town cut off from the rest of the island by weather that arrived faster than anyone could drive away from it. The 1-lane bridges you crossed so casually on the way in are the low points where all that water funnels. That is the quiet danger nobody photographs. You are not afraid of a bridge you drove over an hour ago. You should be, because a bridge is exactly where the road tries to take the car out from under you. And then there is the dark. If you have misjudged your daylight and you are still out here at night, the back road stops being a scenic drive and becomes something close to a nightmare. There is no lighting. In the gulches, herds of deer, dozens of them, cross the road at night looking for water, and collisions are common. Set into the pavement are unmarked cattle guards, metal grates that will tear the underside out of a normal car if you hit one at speed and never saw it coming. All of it in the dark with no signal, hours from help. and understand how alone really is out here. On the front road, more than 1,000 cars pass every day. If you go off the road there, someone will likely see it happen and get on the phone within minutes. On the back road, you can drive for an hour and pass no one. So if you go over the edge here, there may be no witness at all, no one to note where, no one to make the call, even if a call could be made. Just an empty road and a gap in the brush by the edge that nobody is looking for. No signal, no shoulder, no one coming. That is not a phrase. That is the actual set of facts you would be living inside. The road does not do any of this to you on purpose. That is the part people cannot accept. We want the places that kill us to be evil because evil at least pays attention to you. This road feels nothing. The cliff does not know you are on it. The flood does not choose you. The silence is not personal. The road was here for 400 years before you rented a car, and it will be here long after, and your presence on it means exactly nothing to it. It does not want you dead. Wanting you dead would require it to notice you at all. So if you are going to drive to Hana, and you probably are, here is how you keep the odds on your side. Treat these as rules, not suggestions. Read your rental contract before you drive anywhere. Know exactly which roads void your coverage, and treat that fine print as a warning written in other people's money and other people's lives. If you are ever tempted by the back road anyway, know that you are choosing to do it uninsured, unreachable, and alone. And make that choice with your eyes open. Not by accident at sunset because turning around felt like giving up. Never let the clock make the decision for you. If the sun is getting low, backtracking on the road, you know, beats gambling on the road. You do not. Boring gets you home. Start every drive with a full tank, water in the car, and one person who is not with you who knows your route and when to worry if you go quiet. If it has rained, or it might rain, do not cross the gulches. Water on this island moves faster than you do. And this is the one that would have saved lives. When you get out at a pull-off to look at the view, respect the edge. There is often nothing between you and a 300-foot fall, but your own attention. Do not back up toward it for a photo. Do not let a child run ahead toward it. The most dangerous places on this entire loop are not the scary ones. They are the pretty ones where you feel completely relaxed. That feeling of ease, standing at a gorgeous overlook with the wind coming off the ocean, is not proof that you are safe. On this road, it is the single most dangerous thing you can feel, because it is the exact moment you stop paying attention. Which brings us back to Christian. He was 12. His family did everything right. They drove the safe road, the famous one, the one on every list. They stopped at a beautiful spot on a perfect day. And a boy who had his whole life in front of him got out of the car and ran toward the water, the way any 12-year-old on vacation would run, thrilled, ahead of his parents, toward the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. There was no railing, there was nothing to catch him and no one who could have reached him in time. The road did not reach out and take him, it simply did what it has always done. It sat there, ancient and indifferent and stunningly beautiful, and it let the edge be an edge. That is what this place is, not cruel, not haunted, just patient and honest about nothing, and waiting. You will stand at one of those overlooks someday, with the ocean going gold below you and not a worry in your head. Remember that the view Christian's family stopped to see was just as beautiful, and just as safe looking, and just as quiet 1 minute before. If you like this video, YouTube also thinks you're going to like this